Hello?
Oh, hello. I believe I'm looking for Melissa.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, hi, Melissa. My name is Joshua Lanto. You left me a message.
I did. So I'm the attorney who's appointed for you on Monday morning with Judge Martinez. Let me just take my notes back out.
Okay.
On you. Okay, so I did get a chance to talk to the city attorney.
Okay.
First, do you have Judge's Zoom information for Monday morning?
I'm sure I do.
Okay, if you can't find it, just send me a text message and let me know and I'll send it to you. Okay. Judge Martinez starts on time, so I always tell people to zoom in at 8:55 because there's not really he's got a relatively small docket for him on Monday, and so he's going to whip through, and my guess is he'll probably be completely done and off the record by like 9:45. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of courts don't move that fast, but he does.
That's pretty efficient.
So I always tell people sign on at 8:55 because he's going to start on time at 9 and move right along. So I see that you're charged initially with one count of disorderly conduct. A misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail. The city attorney is offering to amend that. I know this is going to sound funny, but she's offering to amend that to an impeding traffic. I know you were not in the road anywhere. But impeding traffic is a civil infraction, so it's not a misdemeanor. It's a civil infraction, and it's not abstractable, meaning it does not get reported to Secretary of State. It doesn't show up on your driving record. It's just a $175 fine to the court, and it removes. It's not a crime, so there's no potential jail time or probation time or anything like that.
What is your professional opinion?
I think it's a good offer because it removes any sort of possibility of a crime from your record, and like I said, it's just a $175 fine. The judge will ask you how much time you need to pay that, and you just tell them and have it paid in that amount of time, and you're done. So that's the offer, but it's up to you on whether or not you want to take it. You don't have to if you don't want to.
What other details do you know about this case?
I have the report. I have the report, so I read the report and am aware that this was an incident that happened over at the Circuit Court building.
Correct.
In the county building involving the COVID screeners who are actually no longer there, but involving the COVID screeners and a couple of the deputies. So I'm aware.
Well, it had more to do with the deputies than it did the COVID screeners. The COVID screeners basically agreed with me.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've seen the police report.
With the credibility of police nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised to see a ton of lies in there.
It's actually pretty restrained, but I'll read to you what it says.
Okay, this should be funny.
This says on today's date, which was June 9th of 2021, at approximately 1120 hours, deputies working the North Lobby screening station requested I come speak to an individual who was refusing to go through the medical services screening questions prior to entering the courthouse. Okay, it's posted in the state of Michigan, Oakland County Administrative Order 2021/08. I approached the individual, later identified as Joshua Peter Lanto.
Is this from Heensaw? Is this report from Heensaw, the crazy tyrannical dude?
This is from Officer Heensaw.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's the craziest one of them all. Okay, keep going.
Okay, he says, I approached the individual, later identified as Joshua Peter Lanto, and asked him if there was something I could help him with.
Yeah, and I never identified to him, so that's kind of odd that he would know who
it says later identified. Okay, but let me read it to you, because if you interrupt me every sentence...
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay, go.
Okay, if you interrupt me every sentence, we're not going to get through it, so let me read it, and then you can tell me what you think.
Okay, that's fair.
Lanto stated that he would talk with me as long as I stayed 6 feet away from him. I stayed at approximately 6 feet and again asked him if there was something I could help him with. He backed up a few feet and said he would talk to me, but mentioned something about me staying where I was standing while we talked. I noticed him holding his cell phone upright and that he was pointing its camera in whichever direction he was talking. It appeared that he was recording with it. I told him I would gladly speak with him, but that he would have to put his phone down and stop recording with it. He told me he was not going to stop, then mentioned something like, you don't want no part of this, you don't want to get involved. I told Lanto I would gladly help him, but that he's not allowed to record within the courthouse pursuant to a court order not allowing it. I told him if he wanted to continue recording that he would have to step outside. He told me he would not stop recording and asked me if I was going to make him stop. He raised his voice to the point where it was echoing off the walls in the lobby and yelled something like, "Are you going to make me stop? Are you going to put your hands on me? If you are going to put your hands on me, then I will just leave." People were starting to gather around the disturbance that he was causing. I told him that I was asking him to stop, that if he didn't, he would have to leave, and that if he didn't leave, he would be cited for trespassing. He then asked me if I was asking him to leave or telling him to leave. I told him that I was asking him to leave. He replied back that he would not, since I was only asking. I stepped forward towards the outer door. He took a step back and said, "Are you going to put your hands on me?" I told him that I was not, that I was only asking him to leave, but since he refused, I was now telling him to. I pushed the button on the door to open it. I looked at him and told him I am opening up the door for him and it was now time for him to leave. He told me he was not leaving. I told him that I had asked him to leave and he refused, that I told him to leave and he refused, so I would now be issuing him a citation for trespassing. I then turned around and walked away. As I walked away, he said something about not leaving and wanted to know my name. I advised Sergeant Kendrick and Lieutenant Cummins of the situation.
Kendrick and Cummins?
Yes, I issued Lanto a ticket for disorderly due to him creating a disturbance within the public lobby of Circuit Court. He disrupted the county medical screeners by not letting them perform their duties of screening him prior to entering the building. He raised his voice unnecessarily within the Circuit Court lobby, which caused a small gathering in the lobby of people from the public. He was given a citation for disorderly. He accepted his ticket, then turned away and left. Additional information, Lanto has had several recent incidents similar to this one as documented by Deputy Chatterson on May 12, 2021, recording inside the Circuit Court lobby, on June 4th, 2021, recording inside the Circuit Court lobby, and on June 8th, 2021, recording inside the Circuit Court lobby, and was told he was not allowed to record in the building.
Yeah, which is kind of, I'm sorry, is that the end of the report?
May I ask, were you trying to conduct business in the building? What were you doing in the building on this day?
Well, absolutely, I have business to conduct. I have to terminate a guardianship with a matter that has to do with my daughter. So it's a civil matter, and every time. Were you in the building this day for a court hearing to go file paperwork? What were you trying to do? I was there to drop off the paperwork that, for the fourth time, they told me different information on the paperwork that I needed. But I mean, the bottom line is, I guess if it's illegal to record in the courthouse, why didn't they charge me with recording where restricted?
Well, it's against the local court order. B, just because they don't have to charge you with everything under the sun in order to make one of the charges valid. So I always tell people, when you start with that question, A, they don't have to charge you with everything there is to charge you with. But B, I mean, I can tell you there is a local court policy against doing that.
A policy or a law?
And has been for many years.
A policy or a law?
It's the Circuit Court Administrative Order. So if you're doing it, he's within his right.
Is it an administrative order, or is it a policy, or is it a law?
It's an administrative order.
So is that a law?
It has if you are violating an administrative order in the courthouse, you can be ordered to leave. And if you don't then leave, you can then be charged with trespassing for not leaving, which is what they did.
Yeah, trespassing is a secondary charge, so it's obvious why they didn't give me I don't have to ask why they didn't cite me for trespassing, because it's a secondary charge, and so I understand why they didn't cite me for trespassing, but it will be fun to have him on the stand and ask him why he didn't cite me for trespass when he threatened me with putting handcuffs on me and then sending me to a torture chamber.
Okay, when did he say that?
When you threaten somebody with arrest, what you're doing is you're saying you're going to physically lay hands on them, you are going to abduct them, and you're going to lock them in a cage and put them in a torture facility, which they call the Oakland County Jail.
Okay, so tell me what happened when you initially came in. What happened with the people at the screening station?
Well, there were so many lies in that report, I don't even know where to begin.
Just answer my question. And forget about the report. Answer my question. What happened when you came in and the people at the screening station were sitting there? I'm very familiar with the building, so I'm familiar with where they were sitting.
Okay.
When they were sitting there. They're not there anymore.
Well, would you rather just see the video, which is the brilliant thing here is I just get to say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, look at that bullshit in the fucking report that he submitted. And here, do you want to watch the video and see for yourself what happened?
Do you have the video? Can it be emailed to me?
Well, yeah. Why do you think I live stream everywhere I go?
Well, I guess
I live stream and I'm recording right now too. I live stream and I record everything that I do because I plan on.
First of all, don't live stream anything that you and I are talking about because everything we're talking about is privileged. So if you live stream it, then it's no longer privileged.
Well, I understand that. When I understand the rights that I give up when I live stream something. When I live stream something, it's
okay. But I don't want you live streaming my conversation with you.
Well, I'm not live streaming right now, but even if I was, there would be nothing that could be done about it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to be live streaming our conversation.
So are you going to represent me or are you not going to represent me?
I'm happy to represent you, but I'm not having you live stream our conversations. That's not appropriate for me as the attorney.
Well, I mean, well, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate is, the line on that gets blurrier and blurrier every single day. But I was invited to come back to the 1200 building for the matter for my daughter on, let's see, it was scheduled August 19th. And of course, the proceeding, the arraignment that wasn't really an arraignment that Rhonda conducted. Well, what is the definition of the word adjourn, by the way? Is there a different definition in Black's Law that I'm unaware of? Because adjourn means you postpone, correct?
Correct. Okay,
so she postponed my arraignment twice. Not once, but twice. She adjourned the proceeding, but then she just continued to march it forward into a pretrial that I told her I wasn't interested in having till I have a few clarifications for her.
Okay, well, what clarification? So she, eventually she arraigned you because someone entered a not guilty plea and then, blind drew it over to Judge Martinez. So what?
Well, yeah, she wanted to shut me up pretty quick.
What clarifications were you looking for?
Well, the first clarification I was going to ask her was number 4 on the notice to appear states that failure to appear in a criminal case may subject you to the penalty for contempt of court, and a bench warrant may be issued for your arrest. And then the word may is a really tricky word. It means optional, right? It means you may or you may not. So it's the court's friendly way of saying, hey, we might threaten you and we might not, so that they're not held liable.
Well,
right?
I'm gonna stop you there because what that means is that you have a case against you and you're required to come to court when you're ordered to do so.
And I am innocent until proven guilty, correct?
So you are innocent until proven guilty, but you still have to come, unless and until proven guilty, but you still have to come to court.
Okay, so then I guess the next question I have for clarification then is if I'm innocent until proven guilty, does that mean I'm innocent of all the elements of a charge?
Yes, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, are one of those elements jurisdiction?
Well, yes, but what's your jurisdiction argument?
Well, jurisdiction, it means different things to different people. I guess we could sit here and talk all day about jurisdiction, but I'm of the opinion that if there's no victim, there's no crime, and if there's some crazy deputy that works up at the courthouse that has a vendetta against you, you shouldn't allow him just to charge you with whatever crime he sees fit and lie in a report and say that there was there was a crowd that gathered to witness this crazy display and that was not the case whatsoever.
Well, the circuit court, they probably also have cameras. So you can probably pull video footage from that as well.
Right, which is, again, why they have a bizarre rule of you can't live stream into the courthouse. Like, how... Who...
Well, understand, that's not the deputy's rule. That's the sheriff's department enforcing the administrative orders as set forth by the court.
So then you could probably make a strong case for the fact that, some of this stuff might need to be clarified, correct?
Well, I guess...
Because those rules do change.
I'm not sure what the issue is here, because I think we're probably going beyond where we need to go beyond for this particular case.
Well, if I'm gonna be comfortable with somebody representing me, I mean, the deal that they have on the table, that's a hell of a long ways away from an apology from Heemsoth, the tyrannical, crazy guy that came out who said he was offering to help me. If they really wanted to sincerely help me, I asked them, could they take my paperwork to the probate department for me, which they had done 3 other times in previous visits there, and I have them all on video doing it. And they took the paperwork to probate, filed the paperwork with probate, came back and gave me probate's response. I asked them to do the same thing this time, and instead I have some guy yelling at me to get out of the building.
But what I'm trying to get at, because this report starts later on, is what happened when you came in the building initially.
Well, when I came in the building initially, I was expecting the same thing as the other 3 or 4 visits that I had prior to that. I expected just to come in, somebody greet me in the lobby, a deputy, or, what it doesn't have to be a deputy. Any public servant would be helpful to just do it as I asked them to do, which was, and I was polite, and I asked them kindly, nicely and respectfully, could you please take this paperwork for me to the probate department? And Todd works there. He's one of the deputies there. He did it for me like 3 or 4 times. He had no problem doing that for me. So I asked him if he was going to do the same thing, and he said, "No, you're going to go through the metal detectors, take it down there yourself." So I was kind of,
right. They're not obligated. So the deputies are not obligated to go file paperwork for you. So what I'm asking is, they're saying that you were refusing to go through the medical screening questions. And what I'm asking you is, what happened when you initially came into the building and there was the people sitting at the screening table there? What happened the moment you came into the building?
The moment I came into the building, I came in and they said there's this COVID form that you have to sign, and I just put scribbled my information on there, and moved it over to the gal that was there, and I met, I think his name was Kirshner, Deputy Greg Kirshner. And then I said, would somebody mind taking this to probate for me? And he said, no, you're going to take it down there yourself. So I said, oh, okay. I said, all right. I said, in that case, then I'm willing to waive my 4th Amendment right and, be subject to a search here. And then, for some reason, with a deputy or law enforcement, if you bring up the fact that you have rights, that triggers them so much, and then they go crazy. They see red instantly. And that dude, he saw red and he started ordering me. He goes, out, out, out. He sounded like a German Nazi, is what he sounded like. He sounded like the Gestapo. And he started ordering me out of the building.
Okay. And then what happened?
Well, first off, what do you think if somebody says, hey, I'm willing to waive my 4th Amendment right and be subject to a search? Do you think that's grounds to be ordered out of the building?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm a little leery about answering these questions until
I would be
I've
too.
seen
I would be
the
too.
Video, until I've seen the video, whatever videos.
I'm surprised you haven't seen it. I'm surprised you haven't seen it already, because it sounds like the dipshit Heemsoth sat there and he reviewed the video so he could be very careful in how he wrote his report, because he knew his stupid report would come up in court one day and I'd have the opportunity to put him on the stand and I'd be able to ask him these questions myself.
Well, I only got your case yesterday, basically. I got your police reports today. So
do you want to hear how rude Rhonda was, too? I have a bar grievance and a judicial investigation report ready to be sent on her for adjourning my arraignment, interrupting me rudely when I went to ask her one question.
Well, let me ask you this. You told me that you have some video recordings. Is it possible for you to email those to me?
Why don't you just go on YouTube and you can check them out yourself? It's all up there. From the beginning of this process to I've been trying to terminate a guardianship for my daughter since I believe it's February. January or February. Here we are in August. And people have been dragging their feet and postponing this. They were expecting me, I'm guessing, my guess here is that they were expecting me to get frustrated and either give up or do something stupid, which is, get charged with a crime. Which, I did get charged with a crime, but there's absolutely no merit to this to this case. I mean, I've even posted the videos online just to get a sample of maybe how a jury would play out, and then it'd get to 5 people telling me I was an idiot, and 5 people telling me how dare I talk to law enforcement like that. But then the 7th person would be like, "I'm not guilty." I'm like, yeah, good luck getting to 12 out of 12 on that one, guys.
Well, you're not entitled to 12 on a misdemeanor. It's 6.
Oh, it's 6? Ooh, well then I'm gonna have to pick that jury very carefully then.
Okay. Do you want to represent yourself, or do you want me to represent you?
Well,
that
that depends. I mean, are you of the opinion that, based on what I just told you just now, which is 100% the truth, and you can go watch the video yourself. I mean, even if you feel like watching the video first and then coming back and talking to me, I'd be happy with that as well. But
I'm going to tell you this. I feel like if there's video evidence out there, both from you and from the police, I'd like to see it before I give you an opinion on whether or not I think they can prove this case.
Yeah, because I think Rhonda and her gross misconduct and her gross negligence of her duty as a fair and impartial judge, I really think that rather than looking at any evidence, she just, started making decisions that were, well, honestly, she looked like a bully. She looked like a bully, and she looked like a tyrannical, crazy lady.
Okay. Well,
and then my first question for clarification got her so flustered that she couldn't even remember her words properly as a judge, and she made the mistake of adjourning the arraignment twice. And I have the words on record. She adjourned the matter twice. So that means she postponed the arraignment. The arraignment never even took place.
Okay. Well, some type of arraignment took place.
Oh yeah, I know. She tried to get that arraignment done as quickly as possible. She didn't want to be the judge that couldn't keep one of the monkeys in line, right? So of course she's gonna get mad, and she's gonna tell me to shut up, and all the things a fair and impartial judge is supposed to do, right?
Okay, so I think there's a couple things going on here.
Yeah, there's definitely.
I'm going to tell you this. I have not seen any video of any of this. I would like to see both what you have and if there is any police video. I'm going to ask you, though, because of attorney-client privilege, I don't want any of my conversations with you live streamed anywhere, okay? I do not want that. So, please do not do that.
As a public defender, you would be classified as a public servant, though, correct?
I am a court-appointed attorney for you.
But that wasn't my question.
I am not a public defender. I am an attorney who takes court assignments. So
okay, so in the higher.
Now listen to me. Listen to me, please, because I've been listening to you, and I just want to finish what I'm saying without you interrupting me. I do not want you live streaming any conversations or posting up any conversations that you and I have, because then they are no longer privileged.
Well, I understand that, and then I would be the one to waive that right, and then you would be, free of any liability on my part.
I do not want my conversations with you posted online. So if you're telling me that you're going to post them online, then no, I'm not going to represent you.
Okay, well, I guess maybe...
I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, no, maybe you need to call the court right now and just say, hey, I might have to recuse myself from this case, because I'll just have a legal disclaimer out there. Anything that we talk about may be recorded, and I may disseminate that information to the public.
Okay, then I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay,
so I'm just going to be upfront with you right now. I'm not comfortable with that, and so we can address that with Judge Martinez on Monday, and if you want a different attorney or you want to represent yourself or whatever, all of that's totally your prerogative.
Well, I don't want to represent I don't want to represent myself. I don't want to go pro se.
I'm just telling you that I don't know. To be very honest with you, I'm not sure there's any attorney out there who's going to tell you that they're fine and dandy with you posting recordings online of our conversations.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of my YouTube channel. It's called Broken System, Broken Trust, and it's to show the world how flawed our criminal justice system is. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I do not want my conversations with you posted online. So well, how about this? Well, how about this? If as long as you're 100% honest with me and you're guided by ethics, then you have nothing to worry about. you can't say hi, buddy.
I don't
I'm
want
on
my conversations with you posted online.
I'm
and
on
if you're
a
telling
very-
me that that's something you're going to do, then
I'm saying the
then I'm gonna
possibility, just like the court may or may not issue a warrant for my arrest, I may or may not publish, any recordings that I have.
Okay, then I'm not comfortable moving forward, and I'm going to let Judge Martinez know that on Monday.
Okay.
Okay? I just want to be upfront with you, and so that there's no surprises.
I mean, if you'd like to take a case on contingency and help me file a federal case, I mean, I'd be open to discussing that, but then you might have to, speak out against the court.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have no problem speaking out when necessary, but that's a separate issue.
Well, when necessary is a key word right there.
I don't do federal lawsuits anymore. I have done them in the past, but they are very time-consuming.
Well, $400 filing fee, and usually it can be done in just one page. I mean, my buddy, he just got $95,000 just the other day, and it was a one-page document.
I don't do those cases. I have an attorney that I refer those cases to, who then does, whatever he does with them.
Well, hey, maybe he'd want to take something on contingency and teach me something along the way, so I can just do this myself from here on out. But hey, I don't know.
It's a very and it's separate. I mean, those are separate proceedings than criminal proceedings. So.
Well, yeah, and obviously, if I take a plea, then obviously, that's gonna hurt any chances at a federal lawsuit because then you admitted to wrongdoing. So that's probably the number one reason why a plea deal is just laughable at this point. I mean, I should be getting the court's sincerest apologies and saying we're sorry that our public servants that see themselves as these high and mighty deputies are out there conducting themselves like this. That's no way to treat the public. That's no way to treat the people that come into the courthouse. I had almost the exact same interaction with the gentleman up at the Clarkston courthouse. Almost the exact same thing up until the point where I said, hey, I'm willing to waive my right to be free from searches. I'll go through your metal detectors. And you know what he said to me? He said, oh, the Fourth Amendment, that's to be secure and not have to be searched, right? Him and I had a pretty good conversation about, our rights and what he thought our rights were, what I thought my rights were. We had a nice, pleasant conversation.
Okay, well, that's good.
So I like to bring that up to contrast that with the, then I get a Nazi Gestapo guy ordering me out of a building that's not his building. And then I have people come out and threaten to trespass me from that building. And instead of being nice and saying, hey, I'll run that paperwork down there to probate for you, he comes out with 2 deputies. Do you think it takes 2 deputies to run paperwork down from me when that Heemsoft guy is claiming to be helpful?
Well, he doesn't have anything in this report about paperwork, and I don't. I mean, I will tell you, it's not the deputies at the metal detector. It's not their job to run paperwork for you. You know what I mean? Or for anyone, not just you. But that's.
So then what happens? So then what happens if you don't want to be subject to a search?
Well.
I mean, let's be honest. The metal detectors are there to search for weapons, correct?
The metal detectors are there to search for weapons.
Okay,
yes.
And then do you go through the metal detectors?
I do. I sure
do. As an attorney, do you think the judges do?
At circuit court, I absolutely do. I go through the same metal detector you do, put my stuff in the same bin you do.
Do you think that's right?
I don't have a problem going through security.
I didn't ask you if you had a problem with it. I'm saying, do you think that's the right thing to do?
I answered your question by saying I don't have a problem with going through security. Mr. Lanto, I'm not going to have these debates back and forth with you.
I'm trying to have a discussion, not a debate. I didn't ask you. I didn't say you're wrong.
Well, and I'm not taking your question.
I'm not taking an adversarial position either. I'm trying to ask you questions.
I answered your question in a way that I think answers it. I don't have any problem going through the security at the courthouse, just like I don't have a problem doing it, at the airport. Okay. Or when I walk through the metal detector to get into, the Tigers games at Comerica Park, that's just a function of the world we live in today.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so but you're talking about something you voluntarily want to go to, which is a baseball game, or voluntarily take a flight, and versus a courthouse where a lot of people are ordered, to appear there as a defendant. Or they have another civil matter that they have to come and try to get addressed. So that's the building that they have to go to. And so it's either you subject yourself to the search or you don't have access to the courthouse?
That I guess I can't really answer that in a way that.
Or there's a third option, which is if you don't want to be subject to a search, they could always come out, grab your paperwork, take it to the counter for you. They did it 3 other times, and that worked pretty well. I was in and out of there within 5-10 minutes.
Well, that was nice of them to do that on those occasions.
I thought it was very nice of them to do that, and I made videos saying that I appreciated that.
Well, that was nice of them to do that, but I think we've moved past my original point, which was that if you're recording my conversations with you and telling me that you may or may not post them online, I'm not comfortable going forward representing you for the reasons that I've already explained to you, and I'm being upfront about that. And so on Monday morning, I'm going to let Judge Martinez know that, and you can have whatever discussion you want with him regarding having somebody else appointed.
Well, the first thing I have to do is clarify.
You want to do.
The first thing I have to do is clarify whether we had a proper arraignment, because it sounds like, is Martinez over Rhonda Gross, that gross, disgusting, whatever excuse of a judge she is?
No, they're colleagues on the same bench. Judge Walker is the chief judge in 50th District.
Judge Walker, all right. I'll let Walker know first before I file this judicial complaint against Gross.
Okay.
Just to give him a chance. Maybe he'll want to correct her absolutely tyrannical behavior, inexcusable behavior.
Judge Walker is a female. It's Judge Cynthia Walker.
Oh, hey, Cynthia Walker. All kinds of women are getting appointed to high positions in the court, aren't they?
Well, she's been there for a long time.
Well, I'm just saying, because Kumar's the chief judge at the circuit courthouse, and it was Nancy Grant before that. So, hey, maybe the women.
And it was Judge Potts before that. So it's been women for a long time in that spot.
The women are taking over Oakland County. All right.
We have a lot of female judges now, so that's good. But so you do have, I think I asked you this, but you do have Judge Martinez's Zoom information for Monday morning, right?
I believe I have it laying around here somewhere. I mean.
Okay. I always want everyone to know that he starts right on time, because I don't want anyone to.
Well, if I'm late, it's okay for them to wait on me. That's okay. I'll let it slide. I still am an innocent man until proven guilty, correct?
If you're late and he's not on the bench anymore and court is done, he might issue a bench warrant. Let's just be
honest, he will. And the word may in that notice to appear is a tricky word, and most people that have no background in no legal background or no understanding of law, that word just sneaks right by him as though it's an innocent we may and we may not. So we don't have to look like we're gonna go out and impose tyrannical policies and tyrannical rules and tyrannical ordinances and just lock people in torture chambers and lock them in cages.
I'm just telling you that because he starts on time, he's not there all morning. Because that's all I'm telling you.
Well, sounds like he marches the monkeys through there pretty fast then.
Well, I don't know that I would put it like that, but I do think it's very respectful of him to take the bench and start on time. I think he's trying to be respectful of people's time. So.
I mean, that would make for a good public servant. That really would. To be prompt and attentive like that. Absolutely. I would just hope that he would be fair and impartial like he's supposed to be. I mean, according to the judicial canons of the Judicial Code of Conduct, judges are supposed to be fair and impartial, correct? I know, buddy. Good job. Hello. Oh. Hold on. I think I lost you. Let's see. Speaker. Oh.
I don't know what. There was a bunch of weird background noise.
Yeah. My wife must have turned on my car because it connects to the Bluetooth in my car, so I didn't notice until just now. But I'm sorry. I lost you at judges are supposed to be fair and impartial, I believe.
Well, I don't know that I was. I mean, they are. I don't know that I was saying that. What I said was he starts on time at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he'll be on time.
Yeah.
So you have the Zoom information. I will let him know, what the situation is, and you can let him know whatever you want to know and take it from there.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I am a pretty fair and reasonable person. If you want to take a look at the videos, I mean, we may be able to do business in the future. I don't think I'm interested in having you defend me as a public defender, but, I mean, unless we can get to a serious understanding of where we're at here. But maybe you want to take a look at the videos, because I'm going to need an attorney moving forward, maybe just for counsel. But I mean, I will need the help of an attorney moving forward, especially with the line of work that chose me.
Okay.
So maybe you'll want to look at the videos. I am a pretty reasonable person. And then I promise I will not share any information or any recordings unless, you know, unless it absolutely has to be done. You know, unless I catch somebody lying to me or trying to, you know, portray themselves as being something that they're not, then I have to expose them. But other than that, you have my word. I am a normal human being that doesn't share private conversations unless you're acting as a public agent, and then you have no expectation of privacy. So, but if you want to look at the videos and call me back, cool. If not, I'll look forward to seeing what you say on Monday.
Okay, that's fine. I'll see you on Monday morning on Zoom then.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.